We all know that eco bonuses are really important and can make or break a civ. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like Persians 30% faster hunting or Phoenicians faster wood collection, but others are not so much. So today we are gonna take a look at two civs in particular with some more ambiguous bonuses: Assyrians and Palmyrans. Assyrians have villagers that are 10% faster, which sounds really good, since walking is part of every economy task our villagers have to overcome. And Palmyrans just sound way too good to be true. 25% faster working villagers for only 25 more food? And what exactly does work even entail? So I decided to take a trip down the countryside to see how these bonuses would actually stack up in a variety of common situations. At first, we are gonna have 6 villagers chopping wood in this quiet lumber camp. Then we will visit nearby gold mining site. After that, 3 types of most popular cuisine consisting of fruit, hunt and small pieces of wood, which apparently farms are being made of. We will do every test with 6 villagers just to keep things realistic and fair across the experiment. At first, let's pick a civ that has no advantages whatsoever. I decided on Greeks, because their only eco bonus is so that town centers work faster in Tool Age, which has no application for this test. Now let's put them to work and see how they perform. For the lumberjacks and miners, I gave them 10 minutes to gather as many resources as possible. I even let them overchop a little so that walking time is gonna be as big of a factor as it can possibly get. You would think that is unfair because it favors Assyrians more than others, but trust me when I say they are gonna need all the help they can get. Besides, it's rather common to leave your eco unattended for a while, so the tests are rather realistic. For food, I decided on a different approach. Since both hunt and berry bushes are a finite resource, I placed 7 bushes and 2 elephants in a realistic looking location. Now, you want your elephants to be as close to the gather points as possible, but I wanted to see how walking time affects things once again, especially because gazelle don't often cooperate on dying right where you want them to. A similar approach was taken with farms. I just measured how long would it take for villagers to finish farming and converted that into a work rate later. Farms were kinda weird though, sometimes having like a minute delay between the first one being exhausted and the last one. So I took a bit of a shortcut and just averaged the earliest and the latest time. That should give us a reasonable assumption for how fast would other sims compare to Greek. Now let's see the results. With no upgrades whatsoever and just Stone Age villagers, Greeks managed to gather 1581 wood, 1641 gold. 7 bushes were completed in 519 seconds, elephants in 225 seconds, and farms averaged exactly 600 seconds. Let's try Assyrians next. The exact same situations and exact same orders given Assyrian bonus presents itself, well, not great. You can see the gather rates on screen and improvements seem to be rather minuscule. 20 to 40 resources in wood and gold test and 15 seconds faster at most in time test. We can figure out the percentage difference in gather rate by dividing Assyrians' resources by the Greek ones. We can also divide Greeks' time by the Assyrians' time, because gather rate is directly proportional to the inverse of time it took to gather all the resources. All in all, we can see that calculations net out with a result that's rather unimpressive. Weirdly enough, I expected wood gather rate to be faster than gold, because it seemed to have more walking time, but I guess with an increase of 1.3%, this might as well have been a simple measuring uncertainty. An outlier seems to be hunting, with a respectable 4.7% increase, which in contrast seems pretty solid. I'm gonna be honest, I sort of tried to rig it in favor of Assyrians because I play them quite a bit, and I'm still kind of disappointed with the results. So is their bonus entirely useless? Well, I wouldn't say so. It still helps to relocate villagers from resource to resource, placing forward buildings and defending from raids. Especially since Scout isn't present at the beginning of the game, having faster villagers can help you scout for enemies and elephants. However, speaking of the latter, remember that you now have to pay closer attention to luring, because villagers will outrun hunt way easier and can cause you quite a bit of frustration. Now let's try the same test with Palmyrans. In theory, 25% boost to everything sounds insane. Reality is a bit more disappointing though once again. In the given test we can see that their gather rates are all over the place. For gold and bushes, where there is very little walking time, you get around 20% increase. However, this pesky jogging adds up pretty damn quickly, and wood and farms give you much smaller 17% boost. Hunting seems to be an outlier since there is so much walking between the gather points and the resource. This really highlights how important it is to kill your prey as close to your TC or storage pits as possible, especially since collecting faster from them results in less damage that could have been done by decay. Now a lot of you could look at it and reasonably assume that those numbers are not even close to advertised 25% and that it's just a scam. We can easily check, however, by spawning a tree with 1,000 wood and a villager with 1,000 carry capacity. Once again, we will use a Greek villager as our control group. After 5 minutes of chopping, we can clearly see that our Palmyran pal collected exactly 25% more wood. Working, however, doesn't only mean gathering. You may be surprised to learn that it affects buildings too. Let's take barracks for example. A regular civ can build it in 30 seconds. Palmyrans, however, do that in 24 seconds, which is 20% less time or 25% faster, exactly as advertised. This little quirk combined with extra armor on their villagers and faster researching technologies can make for some really nasty forward bases, and even tower rushes would be way harder to stop. Out of curiosity, I checked repairing too, and yep, they do repair 25% faster. Kinda funny though, that repairing a barrack that took 30 seconds to build takes almost 6 minutes to repair. Not that anyone would do that anyway. Now this bonus sounds insane and all, but you have to remember that your villagers cost 25 more food. That doesn't sound all that much in isolation, but that's over 50% more you have to pay for your economy in Stone Age. If normally creating 17 villagers to advance with 20 pop would have cost you 850 food, with Palmyrans it's 1,275 food, and they don't advance any faster than others because their bonus doesn't affect age enough. And that's all the clarification on these interesting bonuses I could come up with. If you have anything more in mind, please leave a comment and I'll try and test it. Thanks for watching.